The one big, beautiful bill now one step closer to President Trump's desk for his signature. Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The bill passing about a half an hour ago. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries stalling the vote for more than 8 hours. He broke the record for the longest running speech on the House floor.
We're going to press on until victory is won.
But despite his delays, the bill still passed. Joining me now live for analysis of the vote and the bill is political insider and local lobbyist Adam Gardner. Adam, thanks for being with me. Are you surprised the vote itself was so fast?
You know what? I heard this morning that there were 4 or 5 Republicans that were still on the fence, and so they didn't have the votes quite yet. And so I'm sure the Republicans were pretty happy that Hakeem Jeffries kept talking and talking and talking. But it seemed like that it was always meant to pass once it got past the Senate. What was to be determined was just to see if the House would make any changes to it and send it back to the Senate, which some in the Senate that even voted for the bill were hoping would happen. That didn't happen. It looks like President Trump will be able to sign the bill tomorrow on July 4th.
Are you saying that Hakeem Jeffries actually helped Republicans out by delaying the vote?
I don't know that to be true at all. All I have heard is there were 4 Republicans, which was one more than they could afford to lose, were going to be voting no as of this morning. And so it looked like they turned that around. There were 2 Republicans that ended up voting more, so they passed it with 1 vote more than they needed.
Adam, give us your take overall on the bill.
Look, the bill, as a Republican, it's got some good things that they can claim victory for. A lot of money for border security, $49 billion to continue funding the border wall. It extended the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act from 2017, which is going to save a lot of Americans, a lot of middle-class people, a lot of money in their paychecks. It stopped the largest tax increase in history from happening. All of those things are good, so they should keep touting those as Republicans. One of the interesting things that passed so easily, especially in the Senate, which was surprising to me, the no tax on tips and overtime pay. That was fascinating to me, a huge shift among Republicans and Democrats. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. But that's going to be something Republicans can tout for taking care of. It increased the standard deduction for most families, including seniors. It added another $6,000 deduction for seniors making less than $75,000. One thing that was really interesting, some of the Northeastern Republicans are gonna take credit for, was an increase in the state and local tax deductions, which is referred to as SALT. It went from $10,000 to $40,000, which basically allows you to write off high taxes in blue states on your federal tax form. So essentially the rest of America gets to help subsidize the taxes of those in northeastern blue states. Very, very controversial in the House, but they had to raise it to get it passed with some of those Republicans. There are some things that are going to be very controversial. Medicaid cuts were significant. Utah itself will see, I'm hearing more than $600 million in lost revenue for Medicaid funds. The state is going to have to figure out a way to make that up. The way that they're probably going to have to do that is to freeze Medicaid benefits and actually kick people off the Medicaid rolls. Some of those are going to be good. It's going to be able-bodied adults from 18 to 64 that will have to have work requirements. But then there are some that are going to be kicked off no matter what, because the state is going to have to make up that budget shortfall. And if they can't afford to fund Medicaid. That's going to be very controversial.
Adam,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say,
Sorry,
yeah.
you just get me talking, Maria.
Well, we appreciate your analysis and your closer look at how that is impacting Utahns. I wish we did have a little bit more time. Thank you so much for being with me. That is political insider and local lobbyist Adam Gardner. Earlier today, before the vote, Congresswoman Celeste Malloy joined Inside Sources, sharing her thoughts on how the bill actually helps Utahns.
There are a lot of wins in here for the people in Utah. It raises the child tax credit by $200 per child. Utah is the youngest state in the country with the most kids, so that helps. It increases the standard deduction for seniors. Everyone's heard about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime pay. That helps people who are in that middle income bracket where they work for wages for a living. That's a lot of Utahns. But the biggest thing that's easy to miss is renewing the tax cuts from 2017 prevents a huge spike in taxes. If we let those expire, most Utahns will get a 22% tax hike this year. Keeping the tax cuts in place increases the yearly take-home pay for a typical Utah family of four by a little over $14,000. It's hard to get people excited about keeping something they already have the way they'd get excited about getting something new. But it's really important that we keep that tax cut in place.
Representative Malloy says there is a specific part of the One Big Beautiful bill that will directly help Utahns.
Besides the national policies that are good for Utah families, there's some specific Utah things in there that are good. The Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, the Downwinders Fund, that compensates Utahns who are exposed to radiation due to the above-ground testing at the Nevada test site. That expired last June. It's been unauthorized for a year. We've been working for a year to try to get that reauthorized, and it's in this One Big Beautiful bill. And not only is it reauthorized, it expands to all of Utah, not just the parts of Utah that were covered before, and it expands to the uranium miners who were exposed to radiation through uranium mines, including in Utah. And that's been something that people have been working on for years.
As you can expect, not everyone in Utah is on board or in support of the One Big Beautiful bill. Tim Whalen works with Medicaid patients and tells KSL TV thousands of Utahns will be affected by the proposed Medicaid cuts.
One of the things that we can do with Medicaid is we can support housing initiatives. When the city is trying to dealing with a homeless crisis, taking or making any custom Medicaid is going to be a serious detriment to success.
Karen Valenzuela echoing similar feelings. She tells KSL TV she works in healthcare and is worried for her patients and the family members on Medicaid.
The fact that many rural Americans are already disadvantaged to the lack of resources, this would further promote those lack of resources.
Once again, the bill has passed in both the Senate and the House and now heads to the president's desk for his signature. He is expected to sign that bill tomorrow before 5.